You can start.
What up, Raider Nation? Welcome to Raider Radio. This is the podcast where we talk everything Raiders. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about the first episode of Hard Knocks. We plan to do like a episode-by-episode review thing. You can also look forward to our Josh Jacobs video coming up very soon when I decide to, get off my ass and start editing.
You lazy fuck.
You're a lazy fuck. How dare you start the podcast off with an insult?
I just provided my beautiful, sultry voice for the video.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can't knock on that.
I'm the talent, you're the brute labor, and you're not doing anything.
The best part of that, like, editing that video is just listening to your voice. I just watch it with my eyes closed.
I bet you do. All right, so
here we are. So
first episode of Hard Knocks in the books. Raider fans get a little peek into the training camp that John Gruden's holding after massively, revamping the roster, flipping over about half of the guys on the team.
Yeah, the rebuilds. Here we are.
So what was your take? What was your take about the episode, just generally speaking?
So to give it to kind of like if you want me to give it like a number value, and I know usually people do this at the end, but we're different here on Raider Radio, so we're gonna do it at the beginning. So
number value is kind of lame though.
What do you want, a letter value?
No, like why we got?
What other kind of value is there?
Like we're not handing out awards.
Oh, is it like a Charles Woodson on the scale between Charles Woodson and I feel like the bottom of the scale being like Jamarcus Russell or I don't know.
I'm just saying no one's like, oh, let me tune into Raider Radio and see what Mike graded it out of a 10.
Well, my grading is always objective, and it's like that's fact. That's how good it is.
Just tell me how you felt about the episode.
Yeah, like a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5?
It was alright.
Alright. I'm not gonna give a rating, but
whoa.
But I will say,
too good for ratings over here.
Yeah, I'm bougie as fuck. As a fan, I was kind of like a little bit let down. I've consumed every single ounce of material that I've been able to get my hands on this off season. So I believe like the first couple of like scenes was just
you're just like, oh, I've seen this already.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen this footage. This is a repeat.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you see the AB and the balloon. And we got to see, Derek Carr and his sexy ass wife and Abe.
She is pretty hot.
Oh my gosh, she's the best part of that.
It's a good thing no women listen to this podcast, so we can say whatever we want.
Mike, no one listens to this podcast,
True,
so we can absolutely listen to
whatever we want. Also, I just want to say before we go on, I love your Raiders slippers you're wearing right now.
Oh yeah, rocking the shield.
Yeah, that's. I just wanted to point that out.
Hey,
we can go on. Hey, I just want them to know what what you're wearing right now.
Comfy and practical, sporty. But yeah. So that was a little bit of a letdown. There's not a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of football.
Well, look, you can't look to this show for football.
Yeah.
This isn't. Yeah. This is like fly on the wall documentary about the people who are in this training camp. It's not like. HBO's not there.
They're not making it for me.
No,
they're not making it for Raider fans.
No, they're not there to break down plays and like, oh, well, this nickel package works better against this sort of offense. You know what I mean?
I'd be sitting there fucking hand down my pants if they were doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, but, I know you would. Yeah.
So I fully admit I'm just being a bratty fan, and
you expect too much.
I do. I expect too much of everything. That's why anything less than 10 wins, and I'm going to be pissed off this year.
You got to calm down when it comes to HBO. They just failed in that last Game of Thrones season, so you got to set the expectations low right now. The only way to go is up because they just hit rock bottom.
Yeah. Well, not really. That Russian show was pretty good.
Oh, Chernobyl was great.
Yeah, Chernobyl was really good. Different conversation.
But we digress.
But what my favorite aspect about the show, the episode, was they played to our history a little bit. They showed John Madden and the 7-man sled. That was cool.
Okay, so that was probably maybe the best part of the episode, would you say? If I had to pick out one moment,
Yeah.
that old footage was great.
Did they do something to the footage where when he was getting down on the 7-man sleigh, he's like, go, 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 and it looks like it was like tilting or something like that.
I don't
It was
know.
like shaking almost, and it gave like a really like type of vibe to it.
I think that was just crappy 2000s video work. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they did.
It amped me up.
Yeah,
It amped me
the
up.
grainy kind of quality to it.
Yeah. So yeah, the stuff that we couldn't see was really cool.
But
I also like that I like that little 2-minute cut up of the players to played to the Autumn Wind poem.
okay, I hated that.
You hated it.
So
Come on, that was the most football in the
point,
entire show.
counterpoint.
That was the most football in the entire show.
Yeah, but they butchered that Autumn Wind poem. Like there's that classic Raiders, the voice and the grainy footage, and we have.
But they played that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but it transitioned into like a modern kind of like take on it, and like
We've all
some
heard-
things,
yeah, we've all heard
some things you just can't make over. Like it's like someone covering "Comfortably Numb" or "Call Me Maybe." It's like it was done
Wow.
perfectly the first time.
There's
You
something
can't
wrong with
just
you.
don't touch it. Play like I just wanted to hear the classic thing over the
But they
over,
played it
over
already.
modern footage.
They played it already. They played it at the very beginning of the episode.
part of it, but
No, they played the whole fucking thing at the beginning
did
of the
they
episode.
really?
Yeah, they
I forget.
did.
But that I don't know.
God, get out of here. Dude,
You bastardized that poem. I'm sorry.
nothing is sacred.
But then they
Get
added
over
like
it.
they added like this like pop
Get
music
over it.
behind it or some shit like that.
It wasn't pop
It
music.
was like hip hop or something, and it was like this is a classic, like vintage, like it's perfect the way it is. Like don't touch
Who
it.
gives a shit? You've heard it.
Raider fans give a shit, idiot.
No, I'm a Raider fan. I don't give a shit. I don't mind.
You're also an idiot. So
I listen to the fucking Autumn Wind every single Sunday before the game. I know what it sounds like. It's a weekly tradition for me. It was cool. They did a little something different with it, something modern for the modern NFL team, the modern NFL Raiders, showing them practicing, and they just did a little cool little thing on it.
All I'm
I didn't think it
saying-
was that big of a deal.
all I'm saying is what bothered me was
It's such an overreaction.
it's not an overreaction. This
absolutely
is
an
sacred. This is like
No, it's not sacred.
it is
Nothing's
it-
sacred.
No, it is sacred.
I'm an atheist.
Oh
Nothing's
my god, I mean,
You're pitching to the wrong guy here.
the Raiders is your religion. I get it, but it is sacred.
not my religion.
It is sacred. I just didn't like the modern. It didn't need a modern take on it. Like keep the original narration. If you want to show it, like video of the modern team practicing over it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like don't. I don't know. It bothered me. Like don't put the new narration and the like a hip hop soundtrack behind it. Like we don't need a modern take on it. And
You're a snowflake.
you're a snowflake.
Fragile sensibilities.
I'm not Ollie, all right. So
yeah, Ronald.
it's a transition to. You like that
So
transition?
you think Ollie's a snowflake? Is that
Are
what you're
you
calling?
kidding me? My foot hurts. What did he say?
Okay, yeah.
And he's like riding that bike, like, and he's struggling, like just.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. You see John Abrams sitting there on. Was that John Abrams on the bike?
I'm not
in
sure.
front
I
of
don't-
him.
I don't
think
remember.
it was, and he's just going.
Yeah.
The elliptical is like burning the wheels off the elliptical or
I think
something.
he made
like
that exact sound too.
Yeah. and you just see fat ass Ron Ollie just sitting there with his gold chain, his grill,
Yeah.
like casually motoring away.
And he's like on his phone on Instagram or swiping or something.
Yeah.
It just felt like that.
Building his brand. I went on his Twitter. After
Why did you do
the
that?
episode. I was curious to see if he had anything to say about the
Okay,
show.
okay, fair enough.
Spoiler alert: he did not. But
Well, what is he gonna say? Yeah, I suck. Like it's exactly the way the show made it look. Like,
overslept, got cut.
yeah, my bad.
But
Dude, the dude did not
he's
want it.
got a logo,
He has a logo.
dude. Who
Well,
are you?
He's a well.
Who are you?
Okay, so neither of us have seen. Was it Last Chance to You?
Yeah, but so who are you?
Oh, you're a scrub.
Yeah,
That's what he is.
Yeah, you didn't earn a logo.
No, absolutely not, dude. You
what do you-
can't make an NFL team.
What do you
cannot earn
what
a
do
logo.
you what do you need a logo for?
He was probably the biggest kid at his high school, and that's the, you know what I mean. That's probably the only thing he's ever had.
So he was well fed. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, you could tell, like, it was almost cringy watching him practice.
It was.
Because it was
It's like watching me practice. Like,
Yeah,
that's how I would be on the bike.
was-
Dude, you're supposed to be a fucking athlete.
well, not even on the bike, but just actually seeing him
his
play.
butt crack rolling
you could
around,
just-
like-
you could just tell he was an amateur.
Yeah.
Like, it just somehow based off of name recognition, this amateur got his way into camp, and then that one scene where after he got criticized and he's just standing there looking out into the distance, he's like, "Holy shit, I'm an amateur."
Yeah,
he's like, I can't do this.
Well, I mean, I think we can both agree to say that he didn't want it enough, right? Like, I know that's a term that's thrown out a lot, but like, you gotta show up to what is it, the
trainer meeting?
the trainer meeting and shit like that. Like, that's stuff that's totally in your control, and that you have to do if you want this to be your life. If you want that check at the end of the day, you have to do this shit.
Yeah.
And he just like seems so blasé about the whole thing.
Blasé.
Blasé.
Look at that. Wow.
I like that. That's a nickel word right there. I don't think that's an actual saying.
Yeah, that's not even a
Whatever,
say.
fuck
That's not
you. Fuck
something
you.
people do. I guess the next biggest aspect of the episode had to be John Abrams, since we already mentioned
Well,
him.
this episode is all about Abrams. He was like 80% of it, I felt like.
Yeah. You know, I was a big fan of him going into the episode.
Not so much now.
No, I still am. I'm not that flaky.
He looked like an asshole, though. Can we agree to that?
I don't think so. A lot of people, if someone doesn't communicate in the exact way that you do, their knee-jerk reaction is, what a dick. Like, asshole.
Okay,
I don't
but-
think that he was trying to be an asshole. I think that he's an awkward young rookie who is a hillbilly.
So, what about that scene at the restaurant when Derek paid for the for dinner?
Yeah, he was talking about, you got
That was,
$125 million.
dude. That was rude. That's rude.
I think
maybe-
there's cultural differences at play there.
Probably.
I think that where is Abrams from?
That's a good question. Probably something I should have looked up before
Yeah,
recording this. But
I have no fucking clue. But he played. Did he play? He played for Mississippi State. We're probably like horrible fans right now. Let's pull this up before we make bigger fools out of ourselves. But he calls himself a country boy. The guy knows horses, so you know that he didn't grow up in fucking Fresno.
he did know know how to ride a horse,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
So,
he didn't grow up in Fresno, California, like Derek Carr. So while I can understand that it can come off as rude to sit there and talk about a guy's paycheck like that, like, oh, you got 125 mil, I'm gonna order everything on the menu. I think that's his way of joking and trying to awkwardly build camaraderie, because if he's among his own people out in the country, that's a joke that people probably, hip and holler and slap their knees over.
That's a way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cringy. I can't. Where
Yeah,
did he play
I
college?
think-
Did I get it right?
Yeah, he's from Mississippi. He
Thank
went to
God
high
I
school
got
in
that right.
Mississippi. He's-
I would have hated myself. So I think that there's just cultural differences at play.
But there's maturity too. You can be
It comes with time.
You can talk shit. You can be a mouth. Like Vontaze Burfict or I don't know, Antonio Brown. But you gotta be good at what you do.
Yeah. So that brings us to the next point. He's got to back all this shit up.
Let me ask you something too. What do you think about him hitting people? During practice without pads like that. And also, what do you think of Gruden's reaction to it? How do you think he handled it?
Gruden handled it perfectly. I think that he really did handle it perfectly. He showed the right amount of listen, dude, this is the way it is, and then Abrams gave him a little pushback, and he's like, well, yeah, I love you, but you don't want to listen to me. Go lift weights on the other field or some shit. He was playful about it. He was good. He was good mannered about it. But you don't want to want to irreparably damage the way this guy plays the game, because you drafted him for that reason. You know, you want him to knock people's heads, but the other team.
Yeah. So you're a little. So yeah, like you're a little. You're happy about the attitude, but you've got to hone it in the right places.
You got to teach him how to be a pro.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's not.
No, exactly.
He's not
a rookie.
He's not an amateur anymore.
Yeah.
He has a job to do, and he has to figure out a way to do that job while not preventing other people from doing their jobs.
Yeah.
That's our 9-to-5 shitty jobs. That's the name of our game too. We have to figure out the best way to do what we're doing and not fuck with anybody else while we're doing it.
You just brought it to a super relatable place. That's why I like you. Good host.
Yeah, you're so awkward.
You're awkward.
So, I like it. I like his mentality, and I like his braggadocious demeanor, because I think it displays a competitiveness that you can't turn off.
Oh no, this is his mode, the one mode that he had. Alpha fucking Wolfpack man.
Yeah, and so we mentioned it earlier when when we were talking before the podcast, but it's going to go one of two ways for John Abrams. The first way, which we'll start off with the bad first, is that mentality, that big mouth, gets really old if you don't perform.
Also, I just want to say it's probably going to get you hit harder. People are going to make you a target. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, other teams are going to be on the lookout for him.
Absolutely.
Refs are going to be on the lookout for him.
Yeah, sure.
He's going to get flagged this year. Raider fans should just accept that and prepare yourself.
Yeah,
prepare yourself for that.
Yourself.
He's going to have to learn on the fly. So it gets old quick. It makes your life hard for you when you're a rookie and you don't need to make things more difficult.
He seems like he's ready to take on the task, though.
Exactly.
Like he has that mentality.
Yeah. And so if he can be a good player, because we don't know whether he's good or not. Mm-hmm. Right now, he's just a loudmouth. But if he is a good player, my perception from watching watching the NFL league,
watching the football,
the NFL football league for a while now, is that guys with that type of mentality that are good are great, and that's why I'm looking forward.
Also,
to him.
I just want to throw out there, he's wearing 24, so big shoes to fill.
Yeah, Charlie Wood was a big mouth as well.
Yes, he was.
He was a big mouth,
but he could back it up. So.
Yeah. So but that's what I'm saying. If we wanna harken back to Charles Woodson, a guy with that type of mentality, take it to you and tell you that I'm gonna do it, and then rub it in your face afterwards. Those guys, when they have the talent to back it up, they're not just good players; they're great. Mm-hmm. Antonio Brown, right? Guys who
the dude has blisters on his feet. I mean, we can talk about this, but dude has blisters on his feet, and he's still going. It seems like 100%.
He's competitive.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I need to constantly perform
he's cocky,
at top level.
He's cocky. He's arrogant. He's gonna tell you he's good. He's my AB stands for afterburners, boy.
Yeah.
Right. But if he could back it up.
Yeah. Oh, he can say whatever he wants.
Right.
Like
that's just a different layer to your game now.
Yeah. And as a citizen of Raider Nation, that's all I care about. You can talk. You can say whatever you want. Talk as much as you want. If you're catching touchdown passes or getting picks and hitting people in the mouth, then have at it. That's all I care about is what happens on the field.
And the polar opposite of him so far in the preseason was his his buddy there, Brokeback Napa, Clee Farrell. I haven't really heard anything about him so far.
He's super quiet. He was a little hesitant to get on that horse, but he did. So he's not afraid of challenges.
He needed a little helping hand.
He did. He needed a little bit of help. Like that lady helped him out. It was nice of her. He eventually conquered that horse, and they were holding hands 10 minutes later, or whatever.
The fans all over the World Wide Web, though, are losing their absolute shit. They're already calling Cleve Farrell bust because he hasn't. No, they're not showing him. They're saying, oh, if he was doing anything worthy of filming, he'd be on the screen, and there's no tweets about him and stuff like that.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing though. I'm not hitting the like breaking the fucking fire extinguisher glass yet. You know what I mean? Like, let's chill out.
Pretty
Let's
sure
see.
there's a handle on those things.
I don't know.
You just
I've never,
open it like a door.
I usually just
You don't gotta punch the glass.
I usually just panic. I let someone else do all the hero work.
Oh my god, we're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm the one crying that we're gonna die. But I like, let's see how he does in the regular season. You know, he was taken 4th, so there's a lot of pressure on him. He comes in with a lot of expectations. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that we haven't heard anything about him. It could be maybe it's just business as usual. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, people get panicked way too quick. Is what I'm trying to say.
People want to prognosticate the season based off of tweets.
Yeah,
Like a Twitter feed.
Yeah.
You hate to break it to everybody out there, you don't fucking know what this team's gonna be like yet. You don't have an inkling of a clue.
We won't until 4 games into the season too. You know what I mean?
The Raiders media window is smaller than normal this year because of Hard Knocks. So we don't have our beat reporters reporting on things like they normally do, and on top of that, we can now see that the episodes are kind of going to be a little bit more narrative driven. They're not going to necessarily be sports journalism.
No, that's the one thing though I like about Gruden. Let me just throw out this word, the Gruden, with even the Ollie thing. Like, dude is gone. He probably the quickest cut in any Hard Knocks season ever.
Really, I haven't watched any previous seasons.
I've seen probably most of them, and it's usually, you wait till like the 4th or the 5th episode of someone's cut, but like bam, Gruden's like, get that shit out of here. And even in his press conference, someone asked him about it.
He's not doing anything.
Yeah, no, he was super like just real with the guy. Like, hey, you gotta want it, or you're out of here.
And we haven't seen the new guy Westbrooks yet.
Yeah,
because that was the end of the episode.
Yeah,
but from what I've heard, based off the Twitter sphere, and apparently Raider fans believe that's gospel. He's looking pretty good.
Good. Well, I hope if he's good, I hope he makes the team.
Yeah, he probably won't, but you
never know.
Iron forges iron, all that jazz. Like,
yeah,
better competition. A guy like Ronald Ollie is just taking up space for someone else to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're meat to push aside. For me.
But so my point, what I was trying to say is that between the small window for news reporting and Hard Knocks not really being substantial football information, Clelin Ferrell, we might get like an episode on him the same way we got John Abrams. You know what I mean? Like,
it might be likely to get one on Josh Jacobs. If I had to put,
we're definitely gonna get one on Josh Jacobs.
We're definitely gonna get one on
Josh Jacobs. So I think that might be like the storyboard that they have written out.
He's the number 4 pick. They definitely had 2 cameras go to his house and talk to him and his girlfriend or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he has a girlfriend by now.
I mean, I don't know about that, man. You saw that Napa Valley scene.
Yeah, you might want to hold off.
He reached out. He reached out for Abrams' hand pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did. I'm lonely.
But so that's kind of what my hope is. I think that it's just the flow of news is being funneled in a particular direction because of Hard Knocks right now.
And it's being dramatized as well.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about not hearing anything about him. And I'm bummed I haven't heard anything about him. I'm more bummed that we didn't hear anything about Josh Jacobs at all in episode 1, which is why I think that that's the way they're doing
again,
things.
Though, yeah, he's gonna get his spotlight. This was all about Abrams.
I think that we have 3 first-round picks, which is kind of unprecedented. I think that they want to make a narrative around that.
Yeah, no, that's
as a television show. So Clelin Ferrell's time in the spotlight in Hard Knocks, I think it's it's still to come.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to see a lot of Josh Jacobs.
They're all in a unique situation because you got the number 4 pick who's, high expectations. You've got this running back who's like this complete package who also is going to be like a core focus of the offense this year. And then you've got the outspoken safety. So you've got everyone kind of, all 3 picks kind of give you something different.
And they'll focus on the outspoken guy first.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Good TV, whatever. But let's talk about like other little moments in the show. I loved the way Derek is teaching his children. I hope one day when I find some girl stupid enough to have kids with me to like allow to teach my children a similar way. It's like, who do we hate? The
Oh, bless you.
Oh boy. Okay, now I'm good.
Go on.
Yep, there it is. Okay. So he's like, like
3 times the charm?
No, I'm always twice. Never do 3 times.
All right. Two pump Charlie?
Yeah, basically, in more ways than one. Anyway, like, who do we not like? I was going to make a joke there against myself, but I'm like, you know what? It's better if we
just
don't.
Move on.
Who do we not like? The Chargers, blah, blah, blah. The Chiefs, the Broncos.
Gotcha.
That was a really cute moment. And I hope to teach my child the same.
I mean, it's also kind of, I have a hard time. I really still want to like Derek Carr. I'll admit, like, he's a likable guy.
He's a lovable guy.
Yeah. We talk all the time on this podcast about how we're battered wives. Where we're just like, I want to love you, but man,
I'm always higher on him than you are, but yeah.
And I've been slapped around a few times. All right, I'm a little twitchy. Okay.
You don't know him like I know him.
So yeah, you don't know him like I know him. All right. I've seen some shit, man. But no, that was pretty cool. And he's probably been a Raider fan most of his life. Derek Carr, growing up in he went to school in Fresno, but he actually grew up Bakersfield or something like that, like right outside of Oakland.
Yeah.
So I mean, he probably was a Raider fan most of his life. So that was cool to see, because I don't think that it was just him playing to the cameras. I think that
that's Derek.
I think that's just Derek Carr.
He's bought in though to the silver and black mentality.
Yeah, might also just be me as a fan projecting, but
no, I don't think so. I think that's his home life.
In terms of discerning actual valuable football information.
Oh, you're not going to get a lot.
Just because, what time are we at now?
26 minutes.
All right. Yeah, we don't want to bore people. I mean, you spent an hour watching the show.
You don't want to. Yeah.
You don't want to listen to another hour of people just talking about it.
Yeah.
But I felt like that there was some little nuggets of information in that episode. The one thing that I liked to hear, or I thought was interesting, and I might be reading way too far into the lines.
Probably.
But we've heard really good things about Max Crosby.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah, we've heard good things about him from the entire coaching staff. Also, not just the guys that are reporting on.
He has like such a porn star name because he is always missing his one X out of his first name.
So you just think about big dicks every time you hear Max Crosby?
Absolutely. Dude, you don't? I think porn star every time
I
see
don't.
It.
I don't.
Weirdo.
I'm the weirdo. But Gruden, if I can remember one of the many sound bites or interviews of Gruden that I've watched this offseason, he's talking about how Max Crosby came in and they wanted him to gain weight and get stronger, and he's been great at it. Just kind of talking about him like he's a consummate professional.
Oh, he works out, yeah.
Consummate professional, and he's doing exactly what the coaching staff is asking of him, and he's been flashing left and right.
I bet he has.
And then in the episode, during the whole family day thing, you see Gruden turn to his wife, and he says, you get Max's number? We got to have him and his wife over for dinner. You got that head coach of your team asking, was he a 4th round pick? Over to dinner at his house. Gruden thinks very highly of this guy. That was one of the nuggets.
I think it was 3rd round, right? Well, there's Trayvon Mullen was 2nd, and then I think 3, and then 4 was the tight end. What's his fucking
Foster
name?
Moreau.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So he's probably the 3rd round pick, but that was kind of telling to me. And if I had to guess, if I had to make a hot take based off of nothing. Because, let's be honest, we really talked about a whole lot of nothing here. gotta give the fans what they want coming to Raider Radio. You gotta give them a hot take. Max Crosby is going to be starting at one of the defensive end spots by the end of the year.
Over who?
Over Josh Morrow.
Okay, well that's not crazy to think.
Because right now Josh Morrow and Arden Key, I would probably say are going to be a rotation, right? And I would say that Max Crosby, if he can bulk up, supposedly he plays the run well. Supposedly, I'm not going to pretend that I know what this guy. He's a 3rd round pick. I don't know what he's like.
Yeah.
But if he could bulk up and play the run well, and he's already kind of known to be a good pass rusher, that guy's gonna be starting by the end of the year. He's gonna be eating fucking chicken, rice, and beans with Grudner every night.
It's gonna be a lot of couples dinners. I think those Raiders fans, like, of course we want to see that. You know what I mean? Like, if your 3rd round pick is starting, by the end of the season, that's great. It means means he's overproducing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want Cleve Farrell to be great, but we have to recognize we got 2 shots at this defensive end position this year. And I don't think that we can sleep on Max Crosby, because where Cleve Farrell has been nothing but quiet all offseason, I feel like Max Crosby is one guy that's consistently coming out of the coaches' mouths. Every coach has something good to say about him.
Well, he was supposedly, everything that I've read about him, he was a steal. So we'll see, but I think he's one of the picks to be excited about for sure.
Did you catch anything else? Maybe some sort of interesting gleam of information football wise?
Not football wise, but I can tell you, Hunter Renfro's wife, super hot.
She's a babe.
She definitely went below her. You know what I mean? Because Hunter Renfro kind of looks like a weird alien.
Yeah,
he has a long neck and big ears and
what
shit.
What is it about this guy? What is it about this guy that he looks so woefully average?
Like E.T. kind of looking?
He's not athletic looking.
He's just like a tall, awkward white guy.
He's not handsome. Is he tall? I don't even think he's tall. I don't think he's tall. He's short.
Maybe he's like he's short. He's like a
he's white. He's ugly. He's got a small dick. He's
definitely
exactly. But he's got this hot wife. He's playing on the Oakland Raiders in the NFL. Like, he was a national champion with the Clemson Tigers.
It's probably about what's on the inside. He's probably got a great personality.
I said earlier in the episode that I'm an atheist. Nothing's sacred to me. There's one thing on this earth that's proof that God might exist. It's that Hunter Renfro stumbling through life
has a hot wife.
He's blessed. This guy's completely blessed.
They're a miracle. Sometimes there's Jesus making water into wine. And then there's Hunter Renfro having a hot wife. How does it happen?
Hunter Renfro. Renfro looks like he belongs at like my IT department, like setting up my Outlook account.
Yeah.
Right? And he's going to be the starting slot receiver for the Raiders possibly, because the first depth chart dropped and he's at the starting spot.
But the first touchdown he catches, I'm going to start calling him Big Dick Renfro. I mean, it's just going to happen. So
I'm just going to now, and I'm going to say size don't matter.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fair. That's a good, counterpoint to that. I like that. Yeah.
There you go. But I did just mention it, but the first depth chart dropped.
Yeah.
And so Renfro at the starting spot.
That's just great to see. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Dude shows some tenacity, beating out JJ Nelson.
I don't know if we mentioned this on the last episode because I got sonar memory, but I really think it's going to be a platoon at that position. So Renfro may very well start.
Well, we're deep. We're deeper at receiver than we have been in a long time.
So happy about that.
Yeah.
And then just going down the rest of the depth chart, there's not too many surprises. I believe Doug Martin's starting.
Fuck Doug Martin. I'm sorry. Fuck Doug Martin. I can't. How dare you even say that name on this podcast?
Someone's got to untie that guy's shoes when he's not looking.
Tie them. Tie the shoes together.
Just tie them together. Someone please. That guy's.
Every single time I watched the game last year, I saw him fumble, and it was just I can't anymore. It just brought too much sadness to my life.
I think that it may just be like a motivational tool. You can't hand the rookie the starting spot right
Yeah,
away.
yeah. You want him to at least try. I don't know.
Yeah, but and then I can't really remember much of the rest of the depth chart, but for some reason this reminded me of it's really cool to see Richie Incognito.
Yeah, him. Hugging with Antonio Brown. So hopefully that relationship works out.
Yeah, like it was interesting because it was a cool dichotomy. I think it was very
Big word.
well. It was very two polar opposites. I think the scene before the Incognito scene was John Abrams, rookie, loudmouth, running his gums, and then Richie Incognito walking up to Antonio Brown, and it was cordial, and you could tell that they were like friendly.
They didn't know like what is this gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. But also at the same time, a guy who's coming into his first day of work, being cordial, saying, "Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you." Blah blah. And he goes back and he's like, "Oh, it's just football. Back to football and this and that." And I can't understate how excited I am about his addition.
Incognito.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I mean, the two game suspension's huge, but they said right in the episode he went last 5 seasons he's played. He's a Pro Bowler for 4 of them.
I don't care who's on our team. If you perform well, that's all we need. You know what I mean?
Built like a fucking brick
He's
shit
a
house, man.
big fucking dude. He's got tits, huge tits.
Yeah, you like those?
Yeah, bro.
You like that?
Love those manny titties.
So I'm excited about him. I like that. I like his leadership ability, even though he's a bit of a dick.
Again, we'll see, dude. It's been everything we know about this guy with his checkered past, and we've seen 30 seconds of him on this episode. Like, let's give it some time. I'm not signing off yet. You know what I mean? Like, I just protect my quarterback, and
you're the
talk.
you're the conservative of the two. Don't remix my songs. And,
yeah, you know what?
I'm not gonna put out on the first date. But
second date maybe.
But I saw Incognito. He looks like a fuck. He looks like the boogeyman hiding in the closet, and he's gonna make nightmares. It's exactly what he's gonna do.
I hope so.
He's gonna do exactly what Gruden asked everybody to do. That guy's gonna
great speech. Like
it's all right.
Great. Come on, dude. That's a great speech. I'm maybe it's because I'm a contrarian, but I love the whole like, I've got a dream to be in the NFL. It's like that's great, but this is we are the Oakland Raiders. Well, this year we are the Oakland Raiders. We are about fucking nightmares. We're about ending dreams. I love that. That's perfect. That fits right in with the identity of the team, and it's the Raiders have always been the blue collar fucking scary guys who beat the shit out of the competition.
I get it.
You just rolled your eyes at that. Fuck you.
We haven't been that way for a long time. I understand that he's trying.
You gotta bring it back.
Yeah, I understand what he's trying to do. But Incognito laying out fucking dudes on the field is gonna spark that.
Oh, yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Like a coach sitting there saying, "Hey guys, let's be meanies." Like it's I get it,
like
but
the bad guys from The Water Boy or the Little Giants.
I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm always curious with these coaches' speeches, how locked in the players are. Really, there's a generation.
Half of those guys are not going to be there.
Yeah, there's a generational gap. It's like, this guy's full of himself.
But we've heard stories though of Gruden playing like old tape of like old Raiders and old football.
Yeah, but how much do these young guys buy into it is my question.
I don't know.
But this is why I'm getting riled up over Richie Incognito, because a guy like that who comes in, says, greets you like a professional. He's the opposite of John Abram. And he's like, yeah, let's go, let's get to work, let's play football.
He's been in the league a couple years.
And then he's just knocking people around like they're stupid.
I mean,
Antonio Brown.
I hope he does that.
Or Antonio Brown coming onto the field. He's in practice for like four or five fucking plays. Comes in, makes everyone else look like amateurs. Yeah, and then he's like, practice is over.
That dude does not need practice.
And then he walks.
Anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
But having those guys on the practice field and having those guys there, like I don't know if Derek Carr does that. Is what I'm saying. Derek Carr doesn't instill the fucking fear of God in people.
He should.
Yeah.
He can.
He needs to. But what I'm saying is that Richie Incognito does. Look at that guy. How could you not be afraid of him? I nearly pissed my pants just looking at him on the screen, dude.
I just was staring at his tits.
I know you were.
Huge titties.
I know you were.
Let's talk about the best cameo on the whole episode, Guy Fieri. Whoo! I mean, I've watched my share of diners, drives-ins, and dives. Super excited.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah, fuck that up. Super excited to see him on the sideline. That's all I need to know. Now we're gonna have a good season. We have been blessed by Guy Fieri, so we are good to go.
Anyway, Antonio
Fuck you.
Antonio Brown. You think he's gonna suit up the rest of this preseason or no?
If he's healthy, if he's not, if those disgusting feet of his, if they don't heal, then there's no reason for him to be out there. No reason for him to even be training. Like,
I'll tell you what,
let those puppies rest.
This situation's pissing me off a little bit.
Oh, I see you're heated about it.
Because already, like, some of the guys in my fantasy football league are talking about how the Steelers won the trade.
Are they hurting your feelings?
Yeah, they are hurting my feelings. They're talking about how the Raiders lost the trade already. And I saw someone say how like frostbite is supposedly something that can like possibly end careers
What
and
is this,
stuff
like Soviet
that.
Russia? Like, are we like in
No,
Siberia?
I literally saw someone post an article on my fantasy football thread today talking about how, like hypothermia and frostbite on your
now you're getting too crazy.
and frostbite on your legs or whatever has like ended athletes' careers and stuff. So I'm just like pissed off because I feel like there's like a massive narrative now in the media. This is my tinfoil hat coming on. Mm-hmm. Just mocking the Raiders for absolutely every single thing they did.
Absolutely. I mean, we're used to it, right?
I mean,
or you got to expect it.
Yeah, like the guy's career's not over. He's sitting there running full speed and making fools out of people in practice.
He can still make crazy cuts. You know what I mean? With all those disgusting blisters on his feet.
He just needs time off.
Yeah.
He just needs time off his feet.
He's a heel.
Yeah. And Gruden as a coach, the one thing that I would like to see from him going forward, he like Gruden's chomping at the bit to get him out there.
You can understand though why, right?
I can understand why, but Gruden's got to be smarter than Antonio Brown is. About the guy who's saying, float like a butterfly, sting like AB. You know what I mean? You gotta be smarter.
That's pretty good.
If you're running the organization, you gotta be smarter than that guy.
Yeah. You're the one who has to take the shit. If he gets injured.
And if the guy's
shoulders.
and he refuses not to throttle his speed and he's just going full force the entire fucking time, you got to give the guy a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just put him on the shelf for a couple of weeks, let his feet heal. Have him in for a couple. He's not going to play any preseason games anyway. He could practice the last couple of weeks of the fucking season and be ready to go. The preseason and
if I were him, and I have no qualifications or, but I would trust a.
You have all the you're the host of Raider Radio.
You're right.
You have all the qualifications.
You're fucking right. Who am I to say? Of course I do.
So what would you do, Coach Mike?
I would trust AB. If you're ready to go, you're ready to go. If you're not, you're not.
You're a pussy. I would shelf him.
Oh my God,
I would shelf him. You got to shelf him for a couple of weeks.
In order to maintain...
You got to know better than him. He's
he knows his body better than anyone else. In order to maintain that positive relationship, because you want to be in good standings with him, you let him do what he wants to do.
Sitting there.
I'm not saying if he's fucking going crazy.
He's got craters on his feet, and he's sitting there with a fucking radar gun saying, "I still got the speed.
I'm not saying
I still got it."
I'm never saying you don't shut him down, but like he knows if he's in pain, you know what? Like, I'm fine with like what they're doing. Let he's an adult. Let him take care of his body. He knows, where his limits are and where they're not.
Do you think that they mishandled the situation in any way? That they allowed him to practice and now he's not even at Napa anymore and they had to send him out to a specialist?
I don't know whose idea or like whose. I don't know whose idea.
Who gave the okay for him to practice and it just. I saw the fucking Instagram photo that he put up after practice. He's got craters on his feet.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I couldn't look at that thing for like more than like a half a second.
So that is where me as a highly qualified, general manager / coach / armchair quarterback. That's where I question shit. It's like what? He was clearly not 100%. He was clearly not ready.
Listen, but he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay for this, like the start of the season. I think he'll be all right.
I think he will be too.
I think this is a little matter people are making into a big matter because that's what happens in the preseason. People make big shit out of little shit.
Mm-hmm. Excited for the Rams next week?
Yeah, let's fucking kick ass. Rams suck, dude.
Bad team.
Bad team. I
Bad
agree.
team. We're
Fuck the
gonna
Rams.
roll over them.
Yeah, fuck the Rams. Todd Gurley is like arthritis. Fucking.
By the way, that's the dumbest fucking thing that I've ever heard. Like, there's no substance to that rumor. I'm telling you all, if you guys want to win your fantasy football league, draft
God,
Todd Gurley.
Bad fantasy advice here. Come
Draft-
here for bad fantasy advice.
No, I'm telling you all right now. Anybody can be nicked up at any point in time.
Anyone can have arthritis, and you're fine.
He doesn't have arthritis, dude. Is what I'm
You
telling you.
don't know that.
This is all people reading between the lines and sports reporters being shitty fucking journalists. They're just trying to build a fucking story because they need clicks in the offseason. Todd Gurley.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm joking. I agree.
I haven't seen him play. I don't know. I don't have any insider information. What I'm telling you is that anybody can get banged up in the playoffs and have the unfortunate luck
agree.
of not playing in the Super Bowl, which is what happened. But look at what Todd Gurley did last year. If he supposedly has fucking arthritis in his knees.
Yeah, no, arthritis is like the extreme fucking reaction. Like, let's all just calm down. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If I would
take
have-
David Johnson over Todd Gurley. What the fuck is
dude? There's an argument there. I'm not gonna.
He's got 1,000 yard plus year
We're not
in
here
his
to
entire
talk about
career.
scrubs who don't dress up in silver and black every week. All right, fuck those guys.
Well, it's the end of the
We're
ep-
gonna
it's the end of
fucking
the-
roll over the
it's
Rams.
the end of the episode.
We're gonna
All-
roll
all
over the
I'm
Rams
saying-
in practice.
I don't think so.
Well, you're not a believer. so-
No, it's gonna be a good test. It's gonna be a great test. I think that a lot of people are gonna lose their shit because we're gonna have difficulties and get exposed in some ways by the Rams in practice. But it's kind of ingenious in a way, man. I mean, why don't you expose all of this this false positiveness and everyone's feeling great about themselves. Jonathan Abrams is running his mouth. Everyone's all kumbaya and fuck like, oh, we're a great team. We got Antonio Brown, all this shit. We're still a bottom 5, bottom
yeah.
10 team
That's the reality.
until we prove otherwise. So have the Rams come in, have them bitch slap us like the little shitty fucking basement dweller that we are.
Watch your mouth.
No, man, because you got.
I know it's reality.
You got
but hey,
to
you
gotta humble yourself before you can get better. Is what I'm saying.
And the only way to get better is by playing better competition.
Exactly.
So I agree with what you're
right
saying.
now, the Raiders are a bad team, and practicing against the Rams and taking your medicine is only going to make you better. It's only going to make you healthier.
Absolutely.
And so I'm stoked about it. I'm not looking for a perfect practice. I'm looking for little highlights, little things here and there that show that what this team does well. That way you can say, "Hey, look at
our weaknesses and we can improve upon.
yeah,
those.
we could fix them, and then look, what did we do well? What were our strengths?
Yeah.
Maybe that's our identity moving forward. You're not going to know who you are until you're tested against people that you don't practice with every day.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be instrumental in forming an identity for this team. It's going to give them a bar through which they can measure themselves.
Yeah.
Everybody on that team is going to know where they stand after that practice.
In conclusion, let me ask you, what are you looking forward in episode 2 next week?
A lot more football. I understand that there's a little bit set up because of the beginning of training camp, show people coming in with their fucking duffel bags and shit like that. That's boring as all hell to me. I didn't give a shit how many snacks Jonathan Abrams bought. That was a waste of 15 seconds I'll never get back in my life. So I'm hoping for more football. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. I'm jonesing. September can't come quick enough.
I know. Yeah, you're excited.
What about you?
I mean, I want to see a little bit more. I was a little disappointed. I guess there are a couple, like, we didn't get any of Mike Mayock in his transition. We didn't get any of like the pressure on us this season because we're so bad last year. There's so much criticism against Gruden, like, and Carr. Have they both lost it? Are they both like losers? Whatever. Blah 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 blah. They could have gotten into that a little bit more. But I mean, and of course, I'm looking for like spotlights on my guys like Josh Jacobs, I want to see. I do want to see a little bit of Carl Joseph still because he's one of my guys. Even like Maurice Hurst, this is a very Abrams centric sort of episode. We got a little bit of Farrell at the end with that horseback riding. AB, of course, and his foot was a big deal. And the balloons.
Fucking
I like the balloon.
Ronald Ollie.
Yeah, and Ronald Ollie's a waste of 15 minutes because like the dude clearly does not belong in training camp.
All I needed was one glance of that asshole with his golden grill.
Literally his butt crack. We got to see it rolling around like from some Netflix fucking.
No, it wasn't even that for me. Once I saw the grill, I'm like, dude, you're on a veteran minimum contract. You got a gold grill.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
You don't belong here.
No, he's an asshole. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But now we have another week of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so just
until we watch it 60 minutes of absolutely nothing.
Staring at like the white snowy TV screen until the episode comes on for the next week.
But I doubt anybody got to the end of this episode.
I doubt it too. And if you did, fucking good for you.
Yeah, we understand that if you did, you're starved for anything Raiders as much as we are, and stick with us for a couple more weeks. And
yeah, like
we got the preseason games coming up. That's gonna be fun to break down.
It'll be great. It'll be actual football.
Yeah, and we could talk about some stuff that matters.
Yeah. So subscribe. Got a video of Josh Jacobs coming out soon. We're going to be doing more film breakdowns of our first round draft picks and some other guys.
We're on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
All the popular places where you listen to podcasts.
So if you want to be serenaded to us while you ride your hot air balloon to work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm riding mine to work tomorrow. I don't know about you. I was inspired to buy one, so I did. I spent all my life savings on it.
Well, unfortunately, I'm taking the Prius.
Good for you.
Loving life.
I'm gonna be burning some aerosol cans in the air while I'm there to kill the planet a little bit more. But yeah.
Dick.
I think this is how we sign off.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.